Welcome to week 5, the final call for Awaken Living. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me, for trusting me to guide you back into the remembrance of just the divinity that's within us all. I have just been so fulfilled pouring my light and love and everything that I've just come to understand about consciousness and this journey that we're on, just pouring it all into this course. And I'm just so grateful to have been on this journey with you. Um, and so this week we are going to talk about we're going to go over a briefly about everything that we've covered so far and really just how to integrate everything into our daily lives so that when you finish this course, it's available for you to go back and watch at any time, but that it's almost like when a Jack in the Box or you open Pandora's box, like, can you truly go back? Can you truly see the world as you did before this information was drawn into your reality? um and understanding that you drew it into your reality and into your field of consciousness at this time for a reason. And so just honoring that part of your journey, this part of your journey, the future parts of your journey, and just the synchronicities of it all, and just carrying that through into your daily lives. And so I'm very excited to get to this today's call. I can't believe it's been 5 weeks already. Um, and so I know that some of you have different questions about the writings, and that's fine. You are more than welcome to continue to send them to me, and I will be happy to go over them and just truly fill into them with you. Again, it's truly about just trusting and feeling into the divinity, the love, the light that is within us all. And so, just bring it into this moment and just truly, truly so grateful for you all. Um, and so, speaking of uh, going over and tuning back in, if over the last week, if you've noticed anything that has come up into your field of consciousness with your bodies and you're wanting to dive deeper into that or explore it, again, I feel free to reach out. I'd be honored to help you dive in a little more and truly. Sometimes it's as simple as, if you're tired, just going and laying down, though. It doesn't have to be some big message about, well, why am I tired? Da, 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 da. It's just simply sometimes just giving yourself that permission that you don't have to go fulfill some big duty that society or that even in your day-to-day lives, you've just think that it's become like a chore. It has to be done before we can sit and rest or before we can play, and truly just honoring that what comes in that moment and understanding that it's there communicating with you for a reason. And sometimes that reason is just to allow yourself to tune in and honor that request. And so, again, your body is not separate from you. It is an extension of your consciousness. And so, uh, just honoring yourself as you're making those choices and uh, just continuing, the more that you honor those little pieces, the more and more you'll realize that you're just start connecting the dots yourself. You start receiving that yourself. And I know I've said that in previous calls before. I just want to readdress that. A lot of these things, again, are repetitive because we have spent our lives up to this point being told the opposite of, or we've told ourselves the opposite. We've been conditioned and picked up beliefs along the ways that weren't necessarily ours to carry. We put that backpack on because we chose to, and we can choose to take it off at any time. And it's a backpack full of rocks and weights and things. And can you use it to your advantage? Absolutely. But is it necessary in your everyday life and in every part of your journey? Absolutely not. And would it be fun to experience the running and rolling down the hills without that backpack and rocks? Absolutely. That is what we're feeling into, is knowing that if it's heavy, put it down. It is okay. It's not yours to carry, and honoring your part in this journey. And so I let us go through, let's start at week one. So in week one, we did cover what a spiritual awakening is, and what triggers it, and like what is the Great Awakening, which you might hear quite often right now, and what is being responsible for our energy. And so that was covered in week one. Let's talk about like different triggers. Just briefly, we're going to just go over these again, and realizing that once you have your awakening, you will also begin to realize and hold less judgment for situations, because you can see that these things are also happening for people around you, and that you're able to integrate that same mindset that you had for yourself, looking back at different things where you have made peace and released the judgment of it being bad, of it happening to you. And when you're able to transform and transmute the way that you see things as happening to you and for you, you also begin to see that in other people's realities as well. And so while it's everyone's journey, and it's not to say that we should put our nose and tend to everyone, but truly being able to hold space from a conscious place, and not feeding into the fear, because especially if this is, as you're awakening, you're going to realize um the world, kind of how you can't go back into that box. You're going to start realizing those things in your daily lives and in your daily world more and more, and truly just finding the neutrality in it and holding it as understanding that this truly is happening for me. And if you can just hold that possibility that it's something good can come from this, something good will come from this, then it truly is life changing. It reminds me of the song, um, par. It's the opposite of paranoia, pronoia, and she literally says that it's the opposite of paranoia. It's the belief that the universe conspires in your favor, and she says truly, it's a game changer when you believe to like shift your way of thinking. And I just love hearing these kinds of songs becoming mainstream, because it's the world is waking up, and there, it's a beautiful thing when you go by a billboard and you see, channel your inner, um, you know, Mozart, channel your inner Colby, whoever it is. Like when we were talking about bringing in the energy that they carried, and knowing that we can align with like that same determination, that same just freeness of just flowing through. Speaking of Kobe, one time I read something that he had said that when he shoots a shot, he never wonders if, when he shot a shot, he never wondered if he was going to make it. He just always assumed it was going in. And so truly holding that vibration of just knowing and just moving through and letting it, knowing that you're creating and that these things will be brought into your reality to perhaps allow you to expand and reach for more. And sometimes those things, they do seem just impossible, or like it's very easy to bring in judgment when we're looking at it from the 3D. And so just even if you're not able to find the silver lining, just being open to the idea that there could be a silver lining to come from this in some way. And so um, just, and then number 2 was what is consciousness? And consciousness is unconditional love. It is creation. Uh, as my mentor says, true creation has no agenda, meaning like it's just here to experience and to create. It has no, I'm going to do this because I want to get ahead or I want to be this person. It's very much with knowing that you're creating and that it's just again that flow of creating. And then whenever you do again these weeks kind of built up, well not kind of, but they very much built up on them on one another. And when you bring in that consciousness, the focus, the awareness into situations, and you bring in the possibility of going down any crossroad. It's like you're at the intersection whenever you bring in consciousness to it, and you get to decide which degree you're turning to and which way you're moving, whether it's this way or this way or this way. And there's no wrong or right way. They're all your paths and they will all lead you to the same destination. It's just some are paths of least resistance, and some are longer and create and have more resistance on them to, again, just sometimes it's about feeling what feels good for us. What is it exposing within us that we can release to continue on our creation without the idea that there has to be a reasoning or an end game planned behind our actions. And so it's just truly is just creating from a conscious place and knowing that we're all energy, and that whenever you're creating and whenever I am in my whenever I bring awareness into my thoughts, whenever I bring awareness into my actions, I know that I am also drawing from different vibrational experiences. And it's like I am at a store. And if I go down this aisle, because I'm a vibrational match for this aisle, whatever's on that aisle is all that is available to me to build with my path. And my path is going to decide what experiences I am having. However, if I am at this vibration and maybe it's full of coming from a place of lack and need and unworthiness and feeling like just separate from source and shame and guilt, all that is available to me is on that aisle, and those things are a vibrational match for the vibration that I am. And again, that is the materials, that is the aisle that I am shopping on to continuously build my path. And this is, again, it's a continuous thing. It doesn't ever stop. We don't ever stop. We are infinite beings, always creating, always drawing experiences to us. And so to really just bring your awareness and your consciousness into which aisle are you shopping on? Which aisle do you prefer to shop on? And it's no bad or shame in whatever aisle you're on, but bringing your awareness to it allows for you to make those changes again to pivot as you're at that crossroad and decide which way do I want to go? And if you're not able to find that you're able to jump, that's okay. Sitting in those feelings and allowing ourselves to feel those feelings are some of the most important parts of this as well. It's honoring those emotions that we are having because they are the beliefs that we are holding. And so honor them. It's like a I see a dove and it's just the releasing of it, but you wouldn't just be like, well, it's a dove. And because it's about to, it's not going to be in my care anymore. I'm just going to be rough with it and then throw it out into the wind. No, you would still gently, you've nourished this bird back to health, and it would be a very gentle, still goodbye. And then you release it. And truly that is what we do with our beliefs and our fears as well. Whenever it's time to release, is you do, it's to understand. You understand them, and to know that the shame and the guilt is not bad, but where did it come from, and is it mine to carry? And if I need to know where it came from, then I can find the root cause. But if I can just identify it, and then I can shift back into, I know who I am. I know who I am. I am source energy, focused into form, here for the unique perspective that only I can have. That is amazing. And it is all here for me, all of it. It is all me. And I am creating my reality and a constant, my experience of this reality at a constant speed. It doesn't ever slow down. It doesn't, the momentum of which we're pulling from, absolutely, when we're sleeping slows down, but in our day-to-day thoughts, it doesn't matter if it's the mundane or the busy. We're always creating. And so being mindful of that, as we continue on, and as you move beyond this course and perhaps leading you to other courses or down, down your own awakening. And as it continues, truly just holding on to knowing what consciousness is and honoring it, and knowing that, um, that this is always available to us because it is within us. And so, speaking of within us, on week 3, we talked about automatic writing and channeling, and how to allow that information even to come through. And on week 4, I believe, we talked about the ascended masters as well, and angels and loved ones, and even source or our higher selves, and knowing that when we're doing these writings, when we're doing this dropping into our heart space and connecting with all that is available to us, with all the assistance and abundance that is literally within us and here guiding us. So knowing that whenever you can tune into just about anything, anytime, with any of them, and they are all here to guide and to just relish in the fact of us on this journey. And it's a beautiful experience that they get to be a part of as well, and to honor our loved ones and our guides, and as they're giving us the guidance, being completely open, not taking that straw that the information is coming through and making it so small that nothing can fit, but truly just being open to receiving their guidance, open to receiving messages, open to receiving their love and all that is just being shared and flowed through us, all of these activations and the energy and this just, it's just beautiful. I can just see it just flowing in. And so, and knowing that whenever all of this is open and you're open to the love and to the divinity that you have within you at all times, through all vibrations, through all emotions, through all of the stories and limitations that we have told ourselves in this lifetime, it doesn't matter. We at any time can tap into this and know that it is here for us to experience. And so, and truly just using it for what we intended to use it for as we came into this and into this incarnation, into this human experience. And so it's always available to us, and it is, there are different ways. I know that we discussed and went over automatic writing, but there are, you know, uh, different ways, whether it's in meditation, whether it's in dreams. People will receive the messages in different ways. It is what I understand in my personal experience. It is easier to start with the writing, um, and truly just like tuning in and kind of going from there. If you are going to do some like verbal channeling or anything like that, I do suggest having a recording on, like perhaps on your phone, turning the call recorder on so that you can tune in and play it back for yourself as well. Because again, a lot of that times as you're focused in on the energy that is coming in, and also you are translating that energy and those frequencies into words. And so as you're doing that, sometimes it's your focus isn't on what the message is. And so also the feeling of the just a satiation. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're going to use it. The satiating feeling of sitting in their presence and just knowing that you are also radiating everything that they are and you're able to experience that as well. Sometimes, our focus is not on, again, the message coming through. So being able to go back and play that again is truly, truly been super helpful for myself, for my channeling partner, for others, along within, my group of people that I also do channeling with. And so I do advise to go back and reading, go back and listening. I wrote something probably about 8 months ago, and I had wrote a letter to myself, and it was about me enjoying everything about Colorado. And I had never been to Colorado, and just the beauty of it in the mountains. And in the moment, I didn't have a plan to go to Colorado. I knew that I was being drawn there, and I was open to that possibility of however it was going to happen, it was going to happen whenever it was. And I was just no insistence and no resistance attached to the how and the why, um, and the when. And so it's funny that I had the nudge to go through I have 3 different journals currently, and I went back to my very first journal that I had when I first began my own automatic writing. And I came across a letter that I had written that spoke of me being in the Colorado and this and that. And it was 6 days before I was leaving for Colorado. And I had taken a picture of it. And my first night, as I slept in the guest bedroom of my friend's house in Colorado before we went on our hikes through the mountains and just adventures for the next, week and a half, was I sat in her room and I just said, I did it. We did it. This is it. This is creating with no, no insistence. Again, no insistence, no resistance, and in creating with no agenda. I felt it. I knew it. I felt into it, and I allowed the energy to just flow naturally, and knowing that those things are very much uh what comes through. And it was pretty funny because some of the things that I had received in the writing, it was not necessarily a channeled um writing in the way that, I mean, I guess it was, but I wasn't going in to connect, but I was pulling from my higher self. I connected to source and to all the abundance that was available and is always available to us. That is what I connected to as I went to write that letter to myself. And so, just again, bringing consciousness and intention to everything. That we're doing, and understanding that it is all intricately tied together in beautiful woven fabrics of this reality. And so um you know I would have never imagined, when I was bedridden with an illness that they told me was incurable just a few years ago. I remember my youngest daughter, coming up to me and saying, "Mommy, do you want to race to Nana's?" And that was something that we had just done every day, was just, I pretend to run really fast and she would run her fastest and she would beat me every time. And I remember the feeling that when she asked me that, it just rang through my head. Oh, mommy can't run anymore. Mom can't walk right now. Mom can't stand up, and that was, it rang and it rang and it rang and it rang, but it never rang true. It was never my truth. Did I honor the emotions and each part of that journey that came up? Absolutely. Did I expand beyond that because I honored that communication, because I honored the reason that it was something that I drew into my reality and something I chose to experience so that I could get the message? It's like they knock and they'll say, and by they I mean your consciousness, I mean your higher self, I mean source, whatever it is that g- who your guides, your angels, who oneness, all that is knocking at your door saying, "Hey, it's time to start loving yourself. It's time to start honoring yourself." And you're not doing that because you were conditioned all your life and that's what you're holding on to. Well, those knocks are going to get louder because that's what you're here to do. You were here to love yourself. You were here to expand. You were here to experience. And so as those knocks get louder and louder, if we're not tuning into them, then eventually it does feel like it's just been like it hit us all at once. But reflecting back, I can truly see all of the little nudges that I had along the way that were all leading up, that I didn't, the knocks that I didn't answer the door at. And so, but to say that I was there 2 years ago and not knowing that I was going to be climbing mountains. Actually, this is the second trip I've taken since, and they both, well, this is the second trip with friends that I've taken. I've taken other family trips, but to where I'm climbing mountains, where I am hiking the canyons, doing things in a physical manner that I was told I would never be able to do, where I told myself that I would never be able to do, only for a few times, and then I released it. But knowing that I I did that. And I tuned into my body and I continue to honor and tune in and thank it for the messages that it's given me in the past. Thank you for the messages that you're giving me now. Thank you for the messages that, my body is something for me personally as I do readings and private sessions, or whether it's even on a conversational level. I will receive messages within my body as well to allow me to understand the resistance that somebody else might be feeling. And so they will bring attention to different parts within my body to help me understand those messages. Like, we are amazing, amazing, amazing beings in this beautiful life with such intricacy. I'm telling you, it might be my new favorite word. This has been just the most expansive journey, and it doesn't stop. It's like it doesn't, there truly is no end. And how we can each each find our own little niche in these things, whatever it is that works for you. If you're not one that can that says, oh, I can't meditate, I can't sit still, I can't quiet my mind, don't focus on that. Let's not create judgment while we are, working on releasing the judgment and the limitations. But perhaps just sitting quiet. If you can just sit quiet, put your phone down, set a timer so that you're not constantly checking it. And when that timer goes off, then you have, and maybe start with 3 minutes. If 5 minutes seems like a lot, start with 3 minutes. Start with 2 minutes. I know with my children, I started with like 1 minute, and then we, worked our way up to, maybe by a minute at a time. And so, it is just, again, honoring your body, your journey, and your consciousness, and knowing that stillness is the access point of creation. We all have the ability to be still. It might not be comfortable, it might not feel familiar, but that's okay, because allow those feelings to come to the light. Allow those things to come and be released, and just continue to sit. And it's okay. You don't have to restart if you're not still. It's truly is just about releasing the old and making room for the new, releasing the old busyness that perhaps took up those 2 minutes, and making room for the new habits of just sitting. And whenever we can just create that sense of stillness where it doesn't feel so strange and it begins to feel familiar, then we can also bring it into our mind then, and focusing on your breathing while you're doing this. If you find that your mind is racing, you can count your fingers over and over. You can tap, focusing on the tap, and picture little vibrations like ripples in the water going as you're going. If your mind needs to have something going on within it, and that to make you feel comfortable or to make you feel more inclined to sit still, then that's fine. Again, there's no right or wrong way of doing this, and you will draw and find the perfect experience to you. Don't think that it's everybody finds it but me, or I've never found anything yet. Just being open to the possibility. That is it. That's all I'm asking. And so, um, so I know that it can seem a little overwhelming, but think about, if you can sit, and you can sit on the toilet for a minute, if you can sit in a car for a minute, you can sit still. You lay in bed and you go to sleep every night. At some point you can sit for 2 minutes. And so just removing that block to say that I can't, And then if it's a choice that you're not making, then asking yourself, well, why don't I deserve these 2 minutes of self-love? Why? And then when there's nothing to validate that, you will see that it truly is just a belief that we're holding. And it's not about the meditating. It is about it's not about the how long or how many times you do it. It is just about getting comfortable with being still and quietening our mind so that we're not focused on the chores, the work, the groceries, the school stuff, dinner, the animals, who's doing pickup, it's none of that is going through our mind when we're in the meditation. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be still. I meditate quite often while I am doing dishes. I am in deep thought. I am having conversations sometimes with my guides. I stopped the other day and I had a full conversation with Jesus and my guardian angel. And it was just a beautiful experience doing dishes. And so again, we're here and we're in this experience, and being open to the guidance that is always flowing. It's not like a traffic light where it's like, oh, stop, go. Oh, you need some help now. It is constantly flowing to us. And so just constantly being open in those little moments, in those quiet times where you find that you're not necessarily engaging with others. Perhaps it's a drive in the car, but truly just allowing your stillness to enter within you and understanding that that is the access point of creation. And we just go from there. That is the center where we get to decide, where we're not focused on the shame and the guilt. We're aware of it. And so at that point, awareness, consciousness puts us right back here at the access point of creation, deciding which angle we want, what degree we want to turn to, and which path and which aisle we're going to go down. And so, tuning into our bodies, tuning into not the noise and the things that we don't want to experience, but tuning into what we do want to experience around us, the beauty, the nature, the friendly strangers, the, little God winks that you catch as you're going through your days out in the world, opening up to those and knowing that it's all here for you. And yeah, that 143 or that butterfly or that feather, it absolutely was for you. It absolutely was for you. You would not have come across it. You wouldn't be experiencing it if it were not for you. And so understanding that, appreciating it, honoring it, treasuring it, these are all things that bring gratitude into the moment for those things, elevating us out of shame and guilt and judgment. And so when we're here, again, we're pulling from what we're creating with. And so consciousness is the answer to everything. Unconditional love is consciousness. No judgment. There's no judgment in unconditional love. It's unconditional. It's beautiful. And so are you. I truly, 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 again, am very just honored. It's a beautiful word for this journey. And I do not intend for this to be my last course that I offer. I will be doing some probably shorter courses. I already have some written up. And so we will be diving in more specifically to things like perhaps mediumship. I have a 2 to 3 day course. I haven't decided yet. And that will be specifically over mediumship. I also am writing my first book, and that will be just a memoir of understanding of whatever it is that we've experienced it's nothing that there is nothing that can keep us from experiencing all that we are unless we choose not to. And that is no judgment. We are all here on this beautiful journey and this beautiful, beautiful planet filled with beautiful people. And it's all here for us. And so I do have private sessions still available. I will have some shows coming up that I'm intending to continue and expand on as well. I will share those as more information comes, but I did want to just thank you, and thank you, and encourage you to go back and watch these videos as many times as you feel like you would like, and continue on expanding. Don't just stop here. It gets so much better. It gets so much more fun. And these gifts that abilities, I just truly, I mean, they're gifts to ourselves, but we have them all. And it's like breathing it's a gift. Yes, but it's an innate ability that we all have. It is just a natural thing that is within us, and it's here for us to experience. And I'm just grateful that I get to lead you as you also grow to learn to experience these things. And so, again, I will be having some courses coming up in the near future. I would be happy to share. And so I love you all. Thank you. And I will be seeing you again. Thanks.